Hey all you nerds, Gabe aka Froopy Art here, and welcome back to our Gravity Falls inspired region. In the previous episode, you explored the first area and found a mysterious journal. After deciding to keep it a secret from the professor for the time being, you are ready to dive into its pages. Leafing through its confusing pages, the strange codes and partial maps leave you excited with the possibilities. You think you have identified an area nearby that has some significance, but as you are comparing it with the map on your phone, your sister comes toppling out of a bush nearby.
Ah! I'm back! Whoa, what you got there? I thought the professor had us looking for pieces of his weird machine thingy. What are you doing reading a whole book? Spill the beans! Beans.
You're still a little wary of the professor, and though the journal mentioned not being able to trust anyone, you don't have a single doubt about your twin sister Maple, and decide to fill her in.
Whoa, super cool! You found it in a metal tree? I wonder who wrote it. I'm gonna leave it to you to figure out all the nerd stuff. Looks like a bunch of gibberish and gobbledygook if you ask me. What? You're going to be headed to this place on your map? The journal says it's a magic crystal grotto. Well, I found something on my travels already too. Potential new friends! I can't wait for you to meet the girls. Tell you what, you follow your journal map and see if there really are magic crystals there, and I'll go get Sandy and Frenda. You're gonna love them.
Maple runs off again. You're not surprised that she has managed to make new friends already. You know, she's always been the social butterfly, while you are definitely more of the socially awkward, silent protagonist type. You reference the journal notes about the Crystal Grotto again, and pull open the map on your phone. The Hoax region isn't particularly large, but you'll still need to utilize your map as you explore it. And lucky for you, you are able to drop a waypoint and notes as you explore. The area of interest is a short walk, and as you approach the coordinates, the trees become quite dense and restrictive. Squeezing through a thorny thicket, you stumble into a clearing surrounded by massive iridescent crystals. You dust yourself off and begin to explore. According to the brief notes in the journal, these strange crystals attract bizarre Pokémon. Twisting through the towering crystalline outcroppings, you run into some new species. Alrighty, we're going back to the basics with this cryptid. I knew that I wanted some reference to the unicorn, but here's the thing. We've already got a unicorn Pokemon with Galarian Ponyta and Rapidash. So instead, well, many of you know if you've watched my Jurassic Park-inspired Pokemon Amber series that I enjoy me some prehistoric animals. So this unfortunate little creature will be based off of an Elasmotherium, or the species that did coexist with early humans, the good old Siberian unicorn. Far from the graceful beauties of other unicorns, this grumpy little buddy leans into that squat rhino-y look of the Elasmotherium. Also, we're pulling in some medieval imagery, making him look like a poor little peasant, since unicorns are all over medieval heraldry, and when this guy evolves, it will still be based on a heraldic animal. But let's go ahead and meet our first fighting type of the region. This is Uglorn, the one-horn Pokemon. Originally native to the Galar region, this little brute was outcompeted by the much more successful Galarian Ponyta and Rapidash. Nearly driven to extinction, some managed to find their way to the Hoax region. Uglorn specialize in utilizing their sturdy horn in battle. Its ability is Sharpness, so that boosts slicing moves since it's got that big horn, and the hitting ability is Iron Barbs. It's a pretty serious little guy, training by bashing its horn against the tough crystals, but you'll have to let me know if you would want this ugly Pokemon on your team. Next up, you see a flickering flame waddling your way. Okay, so this one is pretty darn neat. The big inspiration is the blue cap. These are fairies often found in caves and mines. They can be helpful and lead people to valuable mineral deposits, or they can be a little mischievous. We're taking that mine navigation angle and pulling in the canary in a coal mine. If you didn't know, miners used to bring songbirds down into the mines and listen for a change or stop in their singing to alert them of higher levels of carbon monoxide or other harmful gases. And of course, I couldn't help but bring in a familiar little firebird for this design. Oh, and sure, canaries are a yellowy gold, but since blue caps often appear as little bits of blue flame, kind of will-o'-the-wisp-like, I just had to keep them blue, but I can remedy that with the shiny. Alright, let's go ahead and meet our little rocky cage. This is Capnary, the bird cage Pokemon. The rocky cage is actually the true Pokemon, and the flaming bird is merely produced by burning minerals. Miners use Capnary to detect potentially dangerous gases, as the flame will change colors. Similarities between its flame bird and those found on Skeledurge's nose are still not completely understood. Its ability is Flash Fire, so that means it doesn't take damage from fire-type attacks, and instead, it gets its own fire-type attacks boosted. And its hidden ability is Illuminate, which, man, that makes sense. One of these waddles up to you and causes its flame to dance a bit. It seems to like you and even leads you into a secret spot where you find a new item. What initially appears to just be a clump of earth has a strange footprint in it. This is a mud mold item. And if you caught an Ittle in the last episode, it seems very, very interested in this object. Let's take a look at what Ittle could evolve into. Time to bring in a bit of folklore from the Philippines. The Tikbalong is a pretty terrifying beastie, but we're going to have a much cuter version here. I mean, it's got the cheek holes that expose the teeth, and that makes it feel a little bit creepy, but on the whole, it's cute. It's also still pretty gloopy, both because it evolved from the shape-shifting Ittle, and also because it will be changing to the ground type thanks to that mud mold. The last little detail that I wanted to get in here are these 3 spikes on the mane. I'm tipping them with yellow as some of the folklore states that one of the only ways to avoid being eaten by it is to pull out the 3 golden hairs hidden in its mane. Not that you'll be pulling on the spikes of this goopy goober's mane, but it's a nice way to break up the silhouette. Alright, let's go ahead and meet the first evolution of the Hoenn region. This is Folil, the mud glue Pokemon. It'll that come into contact with a mud mold item use it to dictate their new form. Folil's equine body is still quite unstable and goopy, but they use their brand new ground typing to slow down their enemies with globs of thick mud. Its ability is gooey, so that slows down the opponent when they hit it, and the hidden ability gets to be Imposter, which is very fun. But what do you think of this pony? Would you evolve your Ittle into it? Or would you hold off in case Ittle is able to evolve into something else? You've got some new, exciting Pokemon for your team. You'll have to let me know which is your favorite down in the comments. You continue winding through the narrow crystal chasm and begin to hear clanging noises and faint voices up ahead. You tiptoe closer, unable to see them, but finally able to make out what they're saying.
Oh man, these crystals are so tough. I'm having a heck of a time breaking them. You sure the boss said they need these?
Yeah, and you don't want to make the boss mad. Take it from me, you wouldn't like them when they throw one of their tantrums. So keep working at it. The boss said this is one of the new materials needed for whatever new device they're making.
Do you know what the boss is making now?
Nope, only the boss is allowed to look at the technical drawings in that journal.
But it seems like our MUWs are made with the same tech though, right?
Probably, but we're not here to figure that out. We're here to collect these crystals for the boss, so let's keep working.
Wanting to get a look at who's talking and spy a glimpse at whatever a MUW is, you clamber up onto a tall crystal and look down. There are 2 people in strange robes working on loosing some of the iridescent crystals from an outcropping. Their faces are obscured by large hoods with triangular patterns on them. And you crane your neck to try and get a better look. Unfortunately, your footing slips and you topple off, rolling all the way down to the two mysterious strangers' feet. But we'll pick up from there in the next episode. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're enjoying the series. There is a new puzzle added to the Discord server, so check out the video description for details on how to join the journal deciphering fun if you haven't already. Alrighty, I'll catch you in the next one. Later, nerds.